All right, hello everybody. This is the SSW rewards sprint review for sprint 48 and the sprint forecast for sprint 49. Let's start with the review. We had one sprint goal this sprint. This was the version 4 done video for the notifications functionality, which is a functionality that we have recently implemented to be able to send push notifications to users of the app to send them information during conferences and about prize draws and other fun stuff. So the functionality is working. The latest done video is in progress due to some updates to the functionality that we need to get done before the video gets recorded. So this was sprint 48 and there were 7 working days total on it. The reason it's an erratic number is because JK and Zach were both on client work for a while. So this is the first sprint time-wise in 3 weeks, or first sprint review in 3 weeks. We have JK, Zach, we have Wixie, and Adam here as well. Uh, 24 hours worked by Zach and 16 hours worked by JK in this sprint. The PBIs that were worked on are on the screen now. You can see that there were 5 bugs, and the 4 items with the stars below them are all related to the notifications feature, updating it so that JK can record the next done video on it. We had mostly dones, and the 2 last features are in progress, and those are blocking the done video. There are no questions about the PBIs. I'll move to the reports.
What got done?
So I'm quite happy with all of the small bugs that we got fixed and got to get them out of the backlog. There was a problem with redeeming spec reviews, where if you do it, then the app would kind of it wouldn't say anything because it doesn't know how to give out a spec review. It would try to send it via mail. And there was a UI bug when editing your social media profiles. There was a bug in the API with the leaderboard not working when you look at top 100. A little time bug, and the app was freezing if someone clicked on camera too quickly. So a whole bunch of little improvements that will make the app smoother. They should have both their names here on this one. They also made they updated, maybe you can talk to this, Zach. You guys updated docs for the F5 experience for Mac.
Yeah, this was all JK actually.
Okay.
I seem to have forgotten to assign myself. So yeah, I added graphs for diagrams for how everything looks locally, so it's a little bit more orientating when you set up everything, updated the script for doc and stuff like that. That's modernized, added backup and restore scripts for the databases, so the F5 experience should be now much smoother. So yeah, it should, when you now go through the instructions, it should be much clearer now, everything.
All right, if there are no more questions, I'll move to the reports. Sprint burn-up chart. For this sprint, the purple line are the completed PBIs, and it looks a little weird because this is over 3 weeks where they did a lot of client work, hence the very steady line. And then, so that's where we ended up by the end of the sprint, with a lot being done at the beginning for the few days they worked before going on client work urgently. Sprint burn up for the big picture. Over this last sprint, the purple line is the bit of progress we made compared to the whole backlog, which has slightly gone up on the right side of the left line. You can see, but we did make more progress on the backlog than PBIs that got added. On to the metrics. So for the last 30 days, we had 9 new PBIs, 67% of them created with Yak Shaver, 10 completed, so the net change is -1. Moving on to deployments, 1 deployment to production and 2 to beta. Moving on to our application health reports. On the left side, the pink graph used to have tons of noise and have hundreds of failed requests, but we fixed that in the last sprint to eliminate all that noise, and now we are getting a much more accurate picture of what the failed requests are. There are not many of them normally. There are just a few spikes which have to do with either specific testing or specific kind of bot attacks on it.
Yeah, the most common one is the trying to access windows/win.ini. They're trying a lot of different ways to access that file.
All right, looking at analytics now for the mobile app. On iOS, we had 100% crash free. On to analytics for Android, we also had 100% crash free. With 1 crash, so this is kind of misleading, this data, but this is a crash that we have not been able to replicate and is not happening in the app. It seems like an API crash that is getting logged, and Zach has not been able to find out who the culprit is to figure out why that's happening.
Yeah, this goes back to we think it's a MAUI bug that should be fixed in .NET 9, and this user is still using an old version of the app which hasn't been updated. So hopefully once they update, this disappears, but I guess we'll see going forward.
The product roadmap is on the SSW Rewards webpage. Due to the majority of the work being done this sprint being bug fixes and UI improvements, we did not do any R&D work. So for AI tools, Zach is using JetBrains AI with Claude 4, which is in the JetBrains IDE, and Yak Shaver. JK is using GitHub Copilot with GPT 4.1 and Gemini 2.5 Pro and Yak Shaver. And also newly this sprint, for the first time, he's using Qwen 3 30 billion model, which is an offline model that he's running on his computer. Qwen 3 is from Alibaba, is that right, JK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, how many hours have you used it for?
For a couple of weeks. I use it also for client work because nothing gets leaked out. So yeah, all the data is nice and secure and don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
If there are no further questions, I'll move on to the sprint retro. Everybody agrees that we had a high number of done PBIs, and I'm quite happy about that because it cleans out the backlog, which has lots and lots of items in it. Some of them small and easy to take care of, but they kind of clog it up. So it's nice to see some of those gotten rid of. JK and Zach are both happy that we've added docs for a better F5 experience and docs for the SQL Server Docker instance. In terms of what did not go so well, the sprint was broken up by client work, so the guys didn't really have a consistent run of days to be working on it. It's not necessarily bad because client work is good, but it means that this sprint was over like the last 3 weeks, even though there were only 7 working days. And then JK ran out of time to get the notifications feature ready for the done video. That done video is important to have because we want to put it on the channel. So that also
Done video
so
has
well.
a capital V. Also, it'd just be nice when these deployments are coming out so you can see which which features are getting done. I am not, like, I know there's been a couple of deployments. How many deployments was it mentioned above?
It was 1 to production.
I'm pretty sure there were two versions that went out. Can you just check what it says above?
Actually, there might be one that came through. There was one pending that might be live
Right.
currently.
So there were 1
Right,
to
okay.
production, 2 to test flight as of yesterday. But
Right.
one of those to test flight is pending deployment to production, so it might be out now.
Mm.
All right, if no further questions, I'll move on to the forecast.
Yeah, it would have just been nice that when you send out a version, there's some email that says this is fixed. I know there's a little comment in there, but I couldn't tell from the comment what was fixed.
So notification email to all the users.
Yeah, so it was good that there was a comment there. It didn't just say bug fix or something, it said something, but I still couldn't be sure what it was. Now, who checks that text before you send it?
Do you mean in the App Store?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of just whoever gets to the manual deployment.
Does
Usually
anyone
I'll
check
try
it?
to
Like if JK puts it in, does he ask you to check it? If you put it in, do you ask JK to check it?
I think sometimes we've done it. Sometimes it's a lot of just kind of collating the PBIs that have been included and just making a list out of it. But yeah, we can probably start doing a check by to make sure
Yeah, I
that's
think you should. Yeah. And try to put comments in there that you could use the same word. Like if you put the PBI title in there, I could use that and search the backlog. Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one update that said just generically offline mode. If I would check that, I would say, hey, technically just this page has offline mode, not the entire app, in case people would think that the entire app is now offline.
Zach, can you please make a note of sending an email with the updates for every production release? And then we'll make a PBI for that.
Yeah. Where should that email be sent to?
Just note it down for now, and we'll continue the conversation later.
Yep.
All right, if no further questions, I'll move on to the forecast. So for the sprint goal for sprint 49, we're keeping it as the mobile notifications done video for JK. The sprint's going to be 1 week long with the sprint review meeting 1 week from yesterday, because the sprint actually starts today. We did the sprint review at the end of yesterday. The PBIs on your screen are the ones we have put in the sprint, with the most important one being the first one, which is blocking deployment due to a change in our Azure. Something in our Azure has changed. Is that right, JK? Which makes the deployments not work until the CORS policy is updated.
I'm currently close to identifying, just been trapped in meetings a bit. With sysadmins, I figure out there's something wrong with the database. I just need them to allow IP from Brisbane office so that I can actually access the database and fix it. And make sure that doesn't happen to production.
Is this bug due to a change in our company Azure policies?
No, it just seems to be happened in similar time. From what I can tell, there was course error, which was actually the wrong reported error from browser. But yeah, it seemed to be the soft delete. But from what I can tell is that one of the migration step didn't run, even though it should have. And I need to verify why it didn't run. I can see the last migration step running, but not second last, even though it's there. So I need to verify what happened on staging.
Right. Okay. Okay, and then the other PBIs for JK are the notifications feature so that he can record his video. And then Zach will be working on some offline support and then cleaning up the achievements logic. The backlog for this project is on GitHub and the SSW Consulting Organization and the SSW Rewards project. And to watch this video, you can find it on the SSW Rewards YouTube channel. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining today, and see you next time.